So yeah, that's that. I think we'll cover that more when we get to it. So just this is what I'm doing. We're gonna grind up. We're gonna get the lode sword, and then we're gonna continue on with the adventure. I will say there are only 3 things I hate about Chrono Trigger on the PlayStation, as opposed to the other versions released. That is the Super Nintendo version, the Wii port, and the DS version. The DS version, by the way, if you guys can find it, please buy that. It is a wonderful version of the game. It holds everything this game does and more, including a nice mini game where you raise monsters and you can get extra items and stuff. But I do find that the level design that they have was not inspired by 2D games because they have a very large amount of backtracking that you need to have done, which is terrible. I find that to be the most horrible thing in the universe. Backtracking is ungodly. It's a plague. Really, backtracking is a plague on gaming now. I mean, yes, there were other games that backtrack. There's always been backtracking in games, but the current game generation has this weird essence of backtracking in RPGs. Like, I think it started with Final Fantasy X, but it's just gotten really progressively worse. Alright, we just learned the Cure spell. Well, it's called Aura, but it heals your hit points. Yeah. As with a lot of games with time travel, Chrono Trigger is actually very based on the meta. Like, you're not entirely sure if like Chrono already did this, and because he already did this, Lavos showed up. And Lavos, by the way, the main enemy. I feel that the ultimate final boss, when he is what he is, as such, isn't really a spoiler. Actually, it isn't really a spoiler. He's the final boss. You can look it up on Wikipedia. They don't consider it a spoiler when the final boss is like that. So I think this clears out the forest for round 1. There's no point in going to the castle right now because there's nothing to do there. You just say, let's go back to the fair when you're with Nadia. Damn it! Okay. That's Princess Nadia. I will do my best to avoid spoilers, but yes. Marl is Princess Nadia. And, yeah, she just makes up a fake name because she wants to go into town and have fun. Can you blame her? I wouldn't be able to blame her. Royal life, especially in the Kingdom of Guardia, seems to be really freaking boring. I mean, oh my god, that's another thing about this game. There's one castle in the whole of the game. Guardia Castle. I mean, I understand the world maps had to be small, but... Well, okay, sorry. There is another castle, but even in medieval times, it's like nobody lives there. So I'm wondering what the deal is. Did Guardia just slaughter their enemies? Okay. Okay, that's something I think I should address. I got hung up. As you can see, the hitboxes for the area battles are a little weird at times. That's really a question. Like, did Guardia just magically did they just slaughter a whole bunch of people? I mean, okay, and this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I'm gonna explain it. After the release of Chrono Trigger, not after the release of Chrono Trigger, but as a sequel to Chrono Trigger, after an intern, it's like an intern game. I think it might have been some sort of visual novel or extra in Japan called Radical Dreamers. They produced Chrono Cross. Now, I don't like that game, but I will play it if you guys request it of me. I will buy it on the PlayStation Store and play it on here, but I don't really want to. The problem being that the game is spread too thin, and one of my big problems with this game and the DS version is hard to link Chrono Trigger to Chrono Cross. Now, I realize that it is set in the same world, and there's a time, alternate reality thing going on, and I'm fairly certain for those of you who like time travel physics and get nerdgasmed over that, you'll love it, but it spread itself too thin, and then every new iteration of Chrono Trigger, this one included, tries to connect this game to that one. I mean, maybe it did really well in Japan, but I hate it. The characters are spread too thin. They made a bunch of changes that made no sense. Like, I can't remember the name of him. I think his name is Guy in Chrono Cross. He's a wizard, and he has something to do with Shalia, but like in the DS version, it's Magus that comes to that winds up in the equivalent place. Take care of everybody. And in Chrono Cross, it's not, because they wanted to change him to be somebody else. And as I recall, there are too many characters in Chrono Cross. They really desperately try to pin that game to this one, and I think that that's kind of a misstep. I mean, I'm sure that the story would make more sense if they streamlined it, but they didn't. It just seems to kind of spit all over this game. Particularly, one of the ending FMVs has Chrono getting married and such to Nadia, because that's one of the endings. He becomes the prince or something. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna stop worrying about spoilers. This game's way too old for that, and I'm way too experienced with it. But anyway, one of the endings is Chrono gets married in one of the FMVs, because he gets married to Nadia. And, in this case, calls herself Marl. But, anyway, he gets married to her, and it shows you 5 years later that the Masamune, which I presume it's a legendary sword, I presume is just left in the hands of Guardia, because the ending of this game doesn't tell you anything about what the deal is with that. Exactly. But yeah, so Masamune gets lost or something, which is, it has something to do with Chrono Cross. I don't really remember Chrono Cross very well, I'll be honest. But, and supposedly the Kingdom Guardia falls, but why does it instantly link into that alternate future? Why are they so desperate to link into Chrono Cross? I mean, I would have just preferred them to have some neat FMVs and like cut it off there. You don't need the extra 1005. Sorry, it's 2000 for us, but this whole game, the whole present of this game is 1000 AD. But yeah, it's like, come on. Why are you trying so hard to link the games together? Particularly with they took Chrono Trigger DS and they gave you a whole extra bit about fighting the Dream Devourer. Yeah, he's like the uber boss of Chrono Cross, and he's made from a piece of lava since time, Eddie or something. But then you beat it, right? And Magus wakes up in a forest, and it's clearly Magus' sprite. Like, they don't do anything to edit it. And he just says, "Oh, I can't remember," just like that one wizard guy. So, like, what's going on with that? I mean, are they saying it is Magus, or isn't it? And why do these extra versions of these games have to link so hard to the other ones? Why can't you just leave it as it is? You know? I guess I'm nitpicking, but, like, you guys tell me out there, fans of Chrono Trigger, tell me, does it irk you as much as it does me? Because it really makes me mad. That they have to kind of rely on that. Some kind of association. And I know I'm getting low with my health, but I'm just trying to get all this done really, really fast so we can get into the game. Okay, yeah, so there's that. But the other two things that make me mad about this game are the load times for one, as you've seen, between second drop because of the way CDs work. And that irks me really badly. So the connections to Chrono Cross, unnecessarily in my opinion. Load times. And the only other thing that irks me about this version of Chrono Cross, rather Chrono Trigger, sorry, has got to be